Hey there. So today I'm going to be answering some of the questions that I get about my locks and my life journey. So I thought I'd just wrap them all up and put them in a video. I have about 9, maybe 10 questions. And so if you are already locked and have questions, or if you're about to start your lock journey, or if you're just curious, then this video is for you. So let's get into it. All right, I'm going to be reading these off of my phone. So let's see. Okay. First one is, why did you start your locks? Okay, so I decided to start my locks. I had been thinking about it for like a few years, but I never wanted that permanent hairstyle. So I was like, I can't do locks because my hair's I don't, I like to switch my hairstyles up. So I did not want to get locked. But then I was like, you know what? I'm really okay with having one lock style, or one, not one lock style, but really okay with having my hair locked up where I can't change the styles too often. And come to find out though, you can really style your hair different ways with locks. But I was like, I'm just gonna go for it. And if I don't like it, I'll comb it out. So after thinking about it for a while, I just decided, let's do it. Number 2, how did you start your locks, and would you choose the same method again? That's a good question. Would you choose the same method again? So I started my locks with 2-strand twists. Well, back up. My first set of locks, so this is my second set. So my first set of locks, I started with 2-strand twists, and I liked that method. I would not change that. I would always choose that method if I were to get a third set of locks, because it allows you to have your hair in some type of style while you're trying to lock up. You at least have some twist in there. You can do the coils too, but I just like the look of the twist better. So I went with the 2-strand twist. And my second time around, I had lock extensions, so I did instant lock. That, I am not gonna lie, I didn't like at all. I felt like it was just kind of stiff. It didn't have the texture that I got when I locked naturally from the 2-strand twist. So yeah, I would not choose anything different. Okay, number 3. What's the biggest mistake you made early in your lock journey? The biggest mistake, I don't know if it would be a mistake, but comparing your locks to other people. You can have the same amount of locks done by the same person, started the same way, and yours will look different. It just is what it is. Everybody's hair is different. Head shapes are different. 100 locks on one person may look different than 100 locks on another. I always compared my locks in the beginning. I was like, okay, I want my locks to look like hers, but I have 76 locks and she has 57 locks. So it's just the comparison game. But I think that was my biggest mistake that I made. Other than that, that's it. And then wanting it to lock so fast. I'm like, I don't know why, but in my beginning stage, I just felt like my hair was gonna lock within 2-3 weeks. I was gonna have locks. And I knew realistically that wasn't gonna happen, but that's just how I felt. And I felt I should be locked already. So wanting to lock, having no patience with the process, and then also comparisons. All right, next question. How often do you wash your locks, and does it cause unraveling? Okay, so the unraveling. The only time you're going to really have issues with unraveling is in the starter lock phase. You may have some issues with unraveling, but I never worried about that because I just felt like I could always twist it back up, or it will eventually fall back into place and lock up. So I don't, at this stage, or after, I would say after maybe 2-3 months, you don't have any issues usually with unraveling. And I wash my hair, I would say 2 to 3 times a month. So sometimes it just depends on how I feel. I might wait 2 weeks. I might do it after a week. Um, but I usually never ever go more than 4 weeks. And if I do that, I must be sick or something. Something's going on where I can't get to it. But I would say 2 to 3 times a month I shampoo my hair. Okay, this is number 5. What products do you actually use versus what you stop using? That's a good one. Okay, so in the beginning, I tried a few different things to see what I liked, and I didn't stop using those products because they were not good. I just found what I liked better, what smelled better. So the products I use is for shampoo and conditioner. I don't really have a commitment. I use designer essentials, but I just recently bought the Tabitha Brown sweet potato shampoo and conditioner, and I've been using that, and I like that too. So for shampoo and conditioner, I just use something that's cleansing and moisturizing. That's what I use, and I don't really have a brand that I stick to for that. All right, in the beginning, I think I was using oil and I stopped using oil. And the reason I stopped is because I just don't like the feel of oil in my hair. I never did. Even when I was a loose natural, I didn't like oil in my hair. So I was putting it in there because the lot girlie said you needed it. But then I'm like, my hair has never needed oil before. I don't like the feel of it. So I just stopped using it. So that's one thing I used in the beginning that I do not use now. What else? Oh, for moisturization, like on a daily or every other day basis, I use I've used a few things that I like. So I like the Loc Sanity. I use that. I also like the loc'd, but here lately I've been mixing my own concoction, which is a mixture of distilled water, aloe vera juice, and glycerin. So I've only been doing it that way for maybe a month now. So I think I like it. I'm not sure. I think I might just go back to buying something. Like once this runs out, I'll probably just buy something off the shelf and not mix it because just convenience. So yeah. All right. How do you deal with lint? Okay. So I've never had to deal with the lint. I think it's because I'm sure I've had lint, but I think it's because my hair is lighter. So because my hair is lighter, I don't think I can see the lint. But I do go to bed with a satin bonnet or a satin headscarf, and my pillowcases are satin. So if for some reason I don't tie my hair up at night, my pillowcase is satin as well. So I don't really have issues with lint. But the other day I did see something in my hair, and it was a piece of blue lint. I don't know if it was like yarn or something. I don't know, but it was blue. And I was like, oh, look, I have some lint. And that was my first time ever seeing any lint in my hair. And I really think it's just because of the color. Because how could I have never had lint at all? So I recommend to get rid of lint, dye your hair. Okay, next question. How do you deal with frizz, dryness, or itchiness? Okay, so I don't really have a lot of that. And I think it's based on the frequency of me shampooing because I don't wait too long in between shampoos, so I don't get a lot of buildup to cause that. Now, at one point I did have, I'm probably gonna butcher this name, so I'll put it across the screen. So I don't know how you say it. Cerebrum, let me just look it up. Okay, seborrheic dermatitis, I think that's what it's called. So I had that at one time where you have these big patches of dry, what looks like dandruff, but it's not really dandruff, but they're big dry flakes in your head. So I did have that at one point. So to get rid of that, what I used, and I got this from a dermatologist, I just used Head and Shoulders. So I went and I got some Head and Shoulders shampoo, and I would put that on my scalp as a treatment right before shampooing, and I would let it sit on my scalp, not on my hair, but on my scalp for like 20 minutes before I shampooed. And after I did that a few times, I noticed that it just kind of went away. So that's the only itchiness and dryness that I've had. But as far as, I guess, dryness in my locks, how I prevent that is by misting and spraying and conditioning it daily or every other day. I may not do it every single day, but at least every 2 to 3 days, I'll spray my hair down with some type of moisturizer. Okay, and the last question is, what advice would you give someone thinking about starting locks right now? All right, so one, I would say get your mindset together. That's probably the most important thing, because it's hard to go from your loose hair and being able to smooth it out, comb it, put it in a bun, whatever you're doing to make it look kempt. It's hard to go from that to rough looking puffy roots and your hair just not looking groomed. And it's going to be like that for a little while, especially in those first 2 to 3 months in between retwists. It's going to look, for lack of a better word, it's going to look rough. And you just got to be prepared for that. And you have to be ready to find a way to get through that. Because I know for me, that was the most, it was like, seriously, y'all can't expect me to be walking around with my head looking like this. That's what I was thinking. But that's how it's going to be until you start getting locked up, because you can't retwist it every week. That's too often. So, and I can't, well, me personally, I don't want to go 4 weeks without a shampoo. So the only way to keep that retwist is to not shampoo it. But not shampooing was not an option for me. So I would say the biggest thing is get your mindset together. Know that for the first couple weeks, you're going to be looking crazy. Get some alternatives. Like, am I going to wear hats? Am I going to wear hair wraps? Am I going to wear headbands? Whatever it is. And then make sure you find a loctician that cares about hair and not is just trying to put the locks in your hair by any means necessary, using any type of products. Make sure they use good quality products that don't cause buildup. Make sure they understand lock to part ratio so that you don't have huge parts and little locks, or vice versa. And make sure they talk to you about what the best way to start the locks are for you, because you may choose to go with coils, or you may choose to go with starter locks. I'm sorry. You may choose to go with coils, or you may choose to go with 2-strand twists or instant locks. So you got to do what you think you're going to like the best. So yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. That is it for today's video. If you have any other questions, put them in the comments below, and we'll get a conversation going in the chat. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.